Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
It's amazing how many people will follow you just to tell you how terrible you are. And I was like, well, why are you following me? Think that's Twitter.
I know it is.
Think about that.
I feel smarter not being on.
Think about following people that you don't enjoy following.
Now, look, I like
People
stirring
are
stuff
looking
up
for
as much as anyone. I mean, you guys know that. But some of this stuff on Twitter, it's like, you people are just looking for a fight. Bo could say the sky's blue. Somebody that doesn't like Bo, by God, that's a black sky.
Chuck and Bo Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this morning.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, Jeff.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
I'm in my Sunday school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, let's turn on the Chuck and Bo
There we
show.
go.
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
The line for this week is down to 3.5. Notre Dame by 3.5. It opened at 6. It's down to 3.5. What does the rest of the nation see? What do they sense? Is an upset brewing?
Classic trap game for Notre Dame, but also Notre Dame's 1-2.
Are we this week's Memphis? You know, last week everybody was like, they jumped on Memphis. You know, Memphis going to give them a game. They, Arkansas better be ready. Memphis is going to, they're going to be laying in wait. I wonder if that's what they're saying about Arkansas this week.
I think we are so close to the situation that
No question.
that we look at it and we just think, we're distraught, and all we see is every missed tackle and every bad angle, and everything that went wrong in the last two games, and then if you take a little bit further step back and you're not up in it every day, you see 2 fumbles away from 4-0. And so when you take that game and you're going to look at it against Notre Dame and you go watch what's happened with Notre Dame, where did they really struggle with A&M? A mobile quarterback.
Oh, he ran all over.
Did they get that fixed this week when they come to play Talon? Does that experience help them? And again, I'm not giving you like my analysis on the game. I'm saying that if people take a step back and they're looking at it like we look at other games, like when Bart does his locks about games, in New Mexico, around the country, or wherever he's picking from, that's how some people are viewing this game. It has all those stereotypical upset feels around it, just from, again, we're up in it, and it's interesting to hear Razorback fans, because right now it's not popular at all to say anything like Arkansas might win this game on Saturday. I mean, you're a fool. That's how you're treated if you say that.
I know.
It's like leprosy in the Bible days. It's like you need to go wash off in the Jordan River.
Unclean.
Yeah, you're unclean. Get away from me.
Everyone that I've talked to that I would categorize as a casual fan, they're in Arkansas and they love the Razorbacks. They know something about football, maybe not a lot, but I mean they keep up. They know what happened. Notre Dame's going to kill us. Notre Dame's going to kill us.
Yeah.
That's what they all say. And look, I left the stadium Saturday. I'm no different than anybody else. I thought, oh my God. I mean, Notre Dame is going to be. It's going to be a cakewalk. It's going to be horrible.
Arkansas is not going to win another game this year.
Yeah, we're doomed. And but then you start diving into Notre Dame's numbers, and I'm not. Notre Dame may come down here and run the Razorbacks off the field. I don't know, but in looking at their numbers and looking at their personnel, I understand why they're 1-2. Again, I'm not saying they won't come in here and blow the Razorbacks away, but I know why they've lost twice. You look at their defense. We talk about the Razorback defense. Notre Dame's defense, for all the talk about their inability to score, it's been really they've been very average on defense so far. I mean, there's a lot of skill there, but in terms of what they've actually done, they've been very average. And Arkansas is going to present a lot of the same challenges A&M did. Are they as good as A&M? Certainly weren't this past weekend. But it is interesting to watch what's happened with the line because nationally the stories and the game is about Notre Dame. It's only inside the borders of our state, or maybe the SEC region to an extent, that it's about the Razorbacks and what happened last Saturday. Everybody else is talking about, can Notre Dame bounce back from losing at home to A&M? So there's two different perspectives on it. But it is interesting to me to watch how the outside world thinks it's going to be closer than a lot of people inside the state do.
Who does Notre Dame play after Arkansas? I meant to look this up.
Boise
Boise
State.
State.
They play Boise State.
I don't know. They just played Purdue. It's not like I don't know that Boise State's a huge game that they'd be looking ahead to, but they certainly can underestimate Arkansas, given that Arkansas just lost at Memphis. And this is a typical thing. I think a little bit of that happened with Arkansas. Maybe not even necessarily going into the game, but I think a little bit of what happened, if you look back at the Memphis game, a little bit of what happened is they lulled themselves to sleep with an 18-point lead.
Oh, there's no question.
And then Memphis got some momentum, and it's too late. I heard Jimbo Fisher yesterday on Sirius XM 84, College Sports Channel, talking about the pain of discipline and winning or the pain of losing. But either way, there's going to be pain. And all the little inch things, all the little tiny details that are hell to actually painfully work your way through in every practice, in every offseason. And, you think, well, this is just football cliche stuff. Man, it's not. I mean, little things add up really quick to a one-play difference in a game. Now, can Arkansas come back, and what kind of week will they have on all those things? All those little things. The last year it was a bad snap here or there. It was a missed assignment here or there. And then you're fumbling, you got turnovers. Taylor's getting hit a bunch in the backfield. This year, it's not as many, but the two fumbles have been huge. We don't really think about the interceptions that Taylor threw because they didn't immediately impact the game in an adverse way. But when you go back and add it all up, that's what you get. Notre Dame seems to be struggling a little bit. And Arkansas obviously has had two losses that pretty much come down to a fumble at the end of the game.
It's interesting you bring that up about the offense because, again, when you kind of remove yourself from something for a day or two, you maybe look at it a little bit differently than you did, in the immediate aftermath. I would have expected Arkansas to score more than 31 points in that game, wouldn't you?
Yeah, 3 points in the second half.
Going into the game,
That's
wouldn't
kinda
you have
shocking.
expected Arkansas to score more than 31? I'm frankly not terribly surprised they gave up 32. I mean, I wish I could say something other than that, but I'm not terribly surprised by that. And it goes back to kind of what we talked about yesterday and the day before. I mean, it was a team loss. When you blow an 18-point lead, yes, the defense certainly allowed the other team to score, but the offense didn't put it away.
Had three turnovers.
Yeah,
that
and
impacted
so again, I'm not casting stones. I'm just saying that it's easy right after a ball game to say, well, this side of the ball is terrible, and this is the reason we're not any good. And if Notre Dame's going to come in here next week and score 50 points, but the difference, and it goes to what you just said, the difference between winning and losing. It is a fine line. And Arkansas they got caught up in that snowball Saturday, and they could not answer with their offense in the second half.
Look, we can talk about, you're right on all of that, and we can talk about all the X's and O's and the intricacies of the game. I took a risk right there trying to use that
that's
word.
a big word.
6'11".
Yeah.
By the way, good morning. We just kind of jumped in, and we're
Hey,
coffee deep. And hey, everybody,
Morning, Bart.
welcome in.
Edward.
I smell the bacon cooking. It's going to be a good day. But this week right here is all about the mentality of a team. Can they just think about how the state has reacted and the fans have been, and we've been on the show. And today is Wednesday. You don't have until Wednesday to flip your mindset to Notre Dame like we're doing today. We're kind of starting to look at the game now. Like, do they have a chance to win?
Well, the season goes on.
But for them, that was Sunday. They got to do that on Sunday. And are they able to get out of the just rut of losing that game as a team? Are they able to come out and use it as fuel? Because if they can, I think what you're saying, Chuck, is they're not as bad as we have made them out to be these last 2 days. Are they? We're going to find out this week. Because as a fan, we get caught up in our emotions, and it's such a strong emotion that, oh, man, I've been down this road so many times. This sucks. They've done it again. They've got to change things. And that all of that, like the future stuff, that's all going to be taken care of. It's all going to play out. But this week, if they actually are motivated and they're not feeling sorry for themselves and they see this as an opportunity and they can play their best game of the year, I mean, why is that not possible? And if it is, then do they have a chance to win the game? Absolutely, they have a chance to win the game. And the reason the line is what it is because this is how sports work. This is what I mean by it's a classic game where people could see an upset who aren't so close to it.
A couple things to think about. Arkansas has not played on campus since the first game of the season. This is the 5th game of the year. This will be only the second on-campus game. There's 2 things that I think point in their favor. One is they play on campus. They're at home, and that does matter. And if you're going to play Notre Dame, this is the week to play them because you were crushed a week ago. And there is the temptation. I mean, lots of people have let go of the rope. I hope none of them are on the team. And if they have, it's, they're going to lose Saturday. But if they haven't, Notre Dame, you don't have any problem getting ready to play Notre Dame. At least you should. Yeah. From a mental standpoint, you ought to be ready to go. If you're not going to be, then you're probably doing the wrong thing.
Quincy Rhodes Jr. yesterday.
Like our coach said, we're not worried about the logo. You feel what I'm saying? Anybody could be beat. So again, people like Steven and the rest of my teammates, we just come in with our heads down, ready to focus, execute the installments and the new things we get weekly, and just ready to put on the show for the fans.
Notre Dame's offense is 52nd in the country. Their defense is 101st in the country. I think people are also in Arkansas that they haven't looked at Notre Dame at all. Like they're not picking up a story.
Well, they think about the playoff.
Breaking that. That's right. They're not thinking about really Notre Dame at all this year. We got to kind of Bart. I mean, do you got any words
what are your thoughts,
motivation?
Bart?
Like, I think could you like maybe talk to the great Razorback Nation and tell them they got to pick themselves up, pull themselves up by the bootstraps.
First team to 50 probably wins.
That'll do it.
Then I like our chances. Then I like the Razorbacks' chances.
See, I'm a little like I understand where you're coming from, Chuck. I'm a little less bullish on Arkansas's ability to stop Notre Dame's offense.
Do you have Notre Dame as a lock this week?
Bart's biased.
No. Okay.
Bart's
No.
biased.
Oh, he's so biased.
Notre Dame.
He's got
biased.
a green shirt on today.
That's right. Yeah.
Well,
I
that's
noticed
a
that
regrettable
detail
decision
too.
that I
With an Arkansas hat.
So you're saying it's coincidence?
Yeah. Is that Notre Dame? Is that a Notre Dame? Is there a Notre Dame
no.
logo inside?
Is that Clover on the sleeve?
Yeah.
They just happen to be there?
No.
No.
Do you have a 3-leaf clover in your pocket?
I do not. No.
Is that single stitch? Bart?
First team to 50. First
vintage?
Team to 50.
First team to 50.
It is single
I think
stitch,
you need to add first team to 50 and the last team with the ball.
Well, yeah. Look, I mean, Arkansas can't stop anybody. Notre Dame struggled to stop anybody.
What if Notre Dame was? Sorry to interrupt. What if Notre Dame
about to be on a roll.
I know. I'm trying to just keep it from happening. What if Notre Dame's driving to win the game at the end and they turn it over?
Well, it could happen. I mean,
go ahead, get on your roll.
Look, I think Chris Ash is a very bad defensive coordinator. He was not good at Arkansas. There's a reason, and since his time at Arkansas, prior to his time at Notre Dame, he only spent 1 year calling plays. Like he's not a great play caller. He's not a good defensive coordinator. And I think that was a bad hire by Marcus Freeman. It's just totally different for the defenses. Now look, they have some personnel issues as well. They have really no depth in the secondary. Their starters go out. They don't really have great players behind them. That's an issue. But they have talent in other places. They just haven't been able to stop anybody. I mean, they couldn't really stop Purdue. They couldn't certainly stop Texas A&M, which gives you hope as a Razorback fan that you're going to be able to move the ball and score. The question's it's Arkansas's defense. Can Arkansas's defense get a stop or 2 or 3 that they're going to need to win the game? And can they not turn the ball over? Arkansas's lost the turnover battle in more than half the games under Sam Pittman. That's been the fumbling thing is not new. People make it out like it's a couple of moments here and there that cost Arkansas the game. No, this has been an issue for a long time. What's happened the past 2 weeks is there have been a couple of timely turnovers that have cost the Razorbacks the game. Play clean football, get a couple of stops, and you can win the game.
I will say this, Notre Dame may not matter Saturday. They've only forced 1 fumble through 3 ball games, and they didn't recover it. So they've not been a team that has forced fumbles. Now, they picked off 3 passes in 3 games, but this has not been what you would call an opportunistic defense.
Man, we're straight into a daggum pregame show here today. Can we have some fun? I mean, let's what entertainment do you have planned for us today, Bart? We'll get into that when we come back. 6:18. Good morning. It's the Razorback pregame show on the Chuck and Bo Sports Network. It's the Chuck and Bo Show. We're just kind of wading through it, figuring it out with you this morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Oaklawn is here for when you want real action, and the wait is over. Live racing is back. Every weekend brings big moments, big crowds, and your chance to feel the thrill of a big win. The holiday racing season begins Friday, December 12th, and runs through January 4th. Then, the excitement returns with the classic racing season, January 30th through May 2nd. It's racing, it's winning, it's everything you've been waiting for. Oaklawn Hot Springs. Join the fun. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
When it comes to watching games, nobody does it like Walk-Ons. Over 60 TVs at every location, and the food and drinks win. Mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine like po' boys and gumbo, plus fan favorites like the best burger you can get anywhere, and more draft beers and cocktails than you can count. Incredible food, wonderful service, and a viewing experience like none other. Walk-On Sports Bistro. We live for this.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
I love a day or weekend at Big Creek Country Club in Mountain Home. The golf, the people, the hospitality, and the events they host always hit the mark, and members enjoy it all. State-of-the-art practice facilities, food, beverages, a big pool with a snack and beverage bar, tennis and pickleball courts, and they can even book you an exclusive fly fishing trip. There's no initiation fee, and for out-of-towners, a membership is only $185 a month. It's Big Creek Country Club in Mountain Home. It's home away from home. The 2 best guys in mediocre sports radio.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I've known you for 25 years. I've never seen you hug anybody.
Well, I am a hugger, but just not in this room. Just not here.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I will give the SEC Network one thing. They can put on a special now.
Did you watch it?
Well, I watched at it. I will admit, I'm embarrassed to say I didn't realize they were going to actually reveal everything for the next 4 years. But
whole schedule.
Yeah, the
SEC
whole thing.
games.
Arkansas gets a break next year, and that they have 5 conference home games. They'll have 4 the following year, but they'll go to Texas for what will be the second straight year.
Yeah, Georgia, LSU, Missouri, South Carolina, Tennessee, meaning Missouri's coming to Arkansas 2 years in a row.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Those are all the home games, and then road games at Auburn, Texas, Texas A&M, and Vanderbilt. Arthur is on the phone. Arthur, how you doing, my man, from Vermont? What's happening?
I'm doing well, but I got a couple of things. One is definitely technical analysis. I'm learning some words here. Any team that plays 3 straight road games doesn't cover the number at some incredibly low clip. And you look, Arkansas played 3 straight road games. In the second half of the third game, it was hot. It got away from them. All right? But then there's something else that's been in my crawl for 20 years. So Chuck used to do a show called Sports Wrap. That's what, and at times he would take a day off, and then he would have these kids fill in. And one time, one of them was talking about how he cried at the end of Rudy. Well, first off, I was like, what kind of Sally Pants stuff is this? But I hope they give him something to really cry about. You know how your dad used to be like, what are you crying for? What? You want something to cry about? And then this thing with Lou Holtz coming back to Fayetteville, isn't that rich? Is him and Houston not maybe at halftime? Maybe they could play a game of one-on-one basketball or something. But yeah, man, that's just kind of all I got today. So I don't know who filled in for you like that long time ago, but I want him to have something to really cry about. Now, granted, I did shed a tear or two for the end of the Miracle of Markham and the Miracle of Markham Part 2. So, but, I was just like, what is this? Why do we got to hear about Notre Dame? But, all right, guys, I'll leave you with that, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a good day.
Good morning, Arthur.
Thanks,
you have a good
Arthur.
day. All right, we've got to take we got a short segment because Pete Sampras
I did it yesterday.
Pete Sampson
Pete
of The
Sampson.
Athletic is coming up next to talk about this game, covering Notre Dame and a little bit of more insight on what to expect from the Fighting Irish, who some just believe are coming in as the same team they were a year ago, but that hasn't been the case so far this season. 6:26. Good morning. It's Wednesday on the Chuck and Bo Show. See, this is what the Chuck and Bo Show is. You just show up and have coffee with you.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweatnum Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to SweatnumCosmetic.com and click on the Sweatnum Edge.
Are your gutters ready for fall? Leaves are coming, and that means it's time to protect your home. At Hog Trough Gutters, they install high-quality leaf guards that actually work. Don't waste money on the cheap guards from big box stores that clog up. And don't get stuck paying triple the price with those big national companies. With Hog Trough, you get the best of both worlds. Professional installation, premium aluminum, and stainless steel guards, as well as a 20-year warranty. Give them a call today to schedule your free inspection or visit hoggutters.com.
Today's been a strange day.
Yeah, we've had some struggles here and there. Let's just be blunt. Can we be blunt?
Well, it's 50-50 at best.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
we, and I include myself in this, we like to think we know what we're talking about, but sometimes we do miss the mark. I mean, sometimes we do.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I think really it's just populating the football, obviously. Just making sure that we get to the ball, we get there with bad intentions, we're physical at the point of contact. Just getting guys on the ground, man. I think that's just the biggest emphasis going far after the day when we finish up the Tuesday practice is just being physical and getting downhill, especially with a offense like this.
Steven Dix.
Getting guys on the ground. That's the
Linebacker.
deal right there. It's just about getting guys on the ground.
That was a problem for Arkansas and the Memphis comeback that ended up being loss number 2 down to the end. 2 fumbles, 2 losses. And here comes Notre Dame. And Pete Sampson, been covering Notre Dame for a long time with The Athletic, joining us on the Chuck and Bo Show. Pete, good morning. Thanks for making time for us.
Pete.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Man, we're doing well. What are the thoughts in South Bend about this Arkansas road game for the Fighting Irish?
I think that the way Notre Dame's defense is playing right now, that there's a healthy amount of concern about what it's going to look like on Saturday morning. Just like Notre Dame's offense, I thought has been finding something every week, but really found something last week. So I feel like Notre Dame is equipped to win in a shootout, but probably would rather not get into one, if that makes sense. But just where Notre Dame's defense is right now, I'm not sure what this matchup is going to look like for the Irish, when we get down there with Taylor Green.
Pete, you watch them regularly. I mean, from the outside, everybody's saying, well, they've got a new coordinator defensively. You know how people are. He's not any good. Is it a personnel situation? What's your take on what you've seen?
So, I think it's personnel and coaching, which is more terrifying if you're Notre Dame because it's kind of hard to fix both things at once. But, they lost a lot up the middle. Like the spine of last year's defense was very good, but it was also incredibly old. I mean, they had 5th and 6th year seniors at both defensive tackle spots, middle linebacker, safety. Safety was Xavier Watts, 2-time All-American, starting with the Falcons now. So it's they probably lost more than people were willing to let on, but you don't go from the number 1 pass efficiency defense in the country to, I think, 103, just based on losing 4 starters. So they look like they're uncertain of themselves, which is not something you ever saw last season. And so it's just when Marcus Freeman talks about, hey, our man defense principles are off, we got to work on our techniques there, our feel and zone isn't where it needs to be, our pass rush isn't where it needs to be, that's sort of an everything problem. And I think it's hard to fix your entire defense kind of while the plane is in the air, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's concerning if you're Notre Dame right now.
Yeah, and I think the Notre Dame media has been asking Marcus Freeman, well, you're a defensive guy. You're a defensive coordinator. Are you going to take over the play calling duty? And he's like, no. What has been just sort of his reaction to this?
It's made for really good press conferences. He's been incredibly animated with them. And I think that I wrote this a little bit over the weekend, if Brian Kelly was still here and the defense was playing like this, Brian Kelly would just kind of we'll just score more points. It's fine. Marcus Freeman is a defensive guy, like you said. So I think he actually takes offense to what the defense is doing right now. And that, it adds an element of intrigue about, how the staff meetings go, because Marcus Freeman is more than qualified to say, this defense is broken, you fixed it, otherwise I'm going to take it over. And I think that he has gotten to a point of let's call less of this stuff. Let's focus on the few things we're good at right now and go from there. But when you watch the Purdue game, Purdue had a drive at the end of the first half where I think they went 75 yards in 53 seconds for a touchdown, didn't use a timeout, scored with 7 seconds to go in the half. And Marcus Freeman was doubled over in pain on the sidelines. This is really affecting him on a personal and professional level. So how he reacts to it is sort of part of the story at this point.
Why do you think the game has gone down to 3.5? Open with Notre Dame, a 6-point favorite. And do you think this is going to be a tight game?
I do. I think Arkansas will score. And I mean, I look at Notre Dame and like where they are at quarterback with C.J. Carr. He's been outstanding. Is he going to be elite every week? Probably not, because he's a redshirt freshman and making his fourth start, second on the road. But I think Arkansas. Like, I'm not saying Arkansas is going to go 9-3 this year, but I feel like they're a heck of a lot better than going like 4-8. Like this is a legit challenge on the road, and you got a first-year starting quarterback and a defense that doesn't really feel good about where it is. So I realize Arkansas's got its own problems, but they're a fumble away from winning at Memphis last week, and I think Memphis is legit. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like Arkansas is close to being a good team that kind of has shot itself in the foot. I feel like Notre Dame's problems, at least on defense, they're a lot more serious than shooting yourself in the foot. So I think Notre Dame's defense is the reason the line has gone down. But I mean, if I was betting anything, I think this is going to be a shootout, fun game to watch. So whatever the over/under is, I would definitely go the over.
Pete Sampson with The Athletic, covering Notre Dame for a long time now. You mentioned early in this conversation that Notre Dame's found something every week on offense, and they really found something last week against Purdue. What is the challenge for Arkansas with this Notre Dame offense?
It's like you can sit on the run if you want. Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price are probably as good a 1-2 punch in the country as there is at running back. So if you want to take that away, that's fine. And I think, Notre Dame has run into this in recent years where they've had good backs, but you could take them away by just stacking the box. And then Notre Dame couldn't hurt you over the top. Well, they can hurt you over the top now. I think it would be hard for me to explain how impressive C.J. Carr has been. And you mentioned I've been doing this for a while. Like, as a young quarterback, he's the best I've ever seen.
Wow.
And, his sort of command of the game and the ability to make checks and adjustments at the line and play like he's been doing this for 3 or 4 years is, kind of blows my mind a little bit. And I'm not saying he's going to go out there and throw for 350, but if you give him an opportunity because you're trying to take away Jeremiah Love, which you should totally do, he's going to take advantage of it. And I think Notre Dame just hasn't had that kind of guy at quarterback in a while where if you give him something, just an inch, he'll take it and he'll hit you over the top, whether it's Malachi Fields or Jordan Faison. They have some good receivers, and maybe not great receivers, but I think they've got a quarterback who sees the entire field horizontally and vertically in a way that they just haven't had in quite a while.
Carr's interesting. I mean, he's a true freshman, and I've always believed that you can't always tell, but you can get an indication about the command a kid has by how many receivers catch passes. He spreads the ball around, which is kind of unusual for a true freshman. Sometimes those guys will lock in on people. What does he do best? Is he a short guy? Does he throw the intermediate route? You mentioned going over the top. Where's he best?
I would say so. He's a redshirt freshman.
Redshirt, all right.
He got 3 snaps last year and was hurt. So what we saw in practices are ooh, this is intriguing. But I would say, the deep ball is a real strength of his, and I think that if there's a tendency of his that Arkansas would have to deal with or could take advantage of, it's like a lot of young quarterbacks, he wants to make the kind of Hollywood throw deep. He's kind of got the I trust my arm too much vibe sometimes. So he will try to make something out of nothing, and occasionally that can turn into a disaster. Like he had a pick against A&M where he threw back late across his body to a running back, ball gets tipped up and intercepted. He should have just scrambled for 3 yards and then you take another snap and try to push it. But he likes to keep the play alive. Maybe too long sometimes, but if you give him an opportunity to hit you deep, that's where he wants to go with it first. So that's definitely something to watch on Saturday.
Pete, let's zoom out for a second. College football nationally. I saw a ranking or a story yesterday that the top 7 transfer portal classes in college football have played 27 games. And how many games do you think those 7 teams have won?
27, I'm guessing.
27. can you win in a different way now in college football? Traditionally, the same 8 to 10 teams have a chance to win the national championship, and it's rarely different. Just because of all the resources and what we've seen, how college football operates over the years. Are things different now?
Yeah, I think they are. I mean, I think that's really one of the reasons Notre Dame went all the way to the title game last year is like they hit at a very, very high level in the portal. I mean, you got Riley Leonard, quarterback. You think of the Georgia game, strip sack from a Duke transfer, kickoff return from a Marshall transfer. And honestly, I think that's one of the reasons Notre Dame has struggled out of the gate. Like, it doesn't look like they did nearly as well in the portal this year as they had previously. The guys that they've added have just been like bit players, with the exception of Malachi Fields, the receiver from Virginia. So yeah, it's like I think you can win in a different way, but I think you have to win that way too, because I mean, you look at the elite teams in the country, and like Notre Dame's right there too, and they're recruiting well, but like that's not enough. You not only have to recruit well, you have to hit in the portal with 6-7 guys, and I don't think it's sustainable to do like the Colorado or North Carolina model where you're flipping your entire roster. But if you're a healthy program, what you do in the portal really should be a finishing move. It was for Notre Dame last year. But I would think that, to me, one of the reasons they haven't been nearly as good this year so far is their portal additions they haven't really clicked. And you're looking at around the country, LSU, for example, their portal additions have. So that's sort of what the tiebreaker is, I think, now, is like, how good are your portal evals? And if they're great, you're going to have a great season. If they're just so-so, that's probably going to hold you back a little bit.
Pete Sampson, The Athletic. Good stuff, man. Really enjoyed it. Enjoy your work. Appreciate you making time for us. Okay, are you going to be at the game on Saturday? He's already gone.
Hey, when he says see you, he meant it.
He was good.
Yeah, he was.
I was going to tell him to come see Chuck.
Yeah.
Say hi.
You know, it is interesting.
Chuck loves to network and hobnob before the game. I'm just kidding. He avoids people at all costs.
No, that's not true. That is not true. You make me sound like you're just an antisocial guy that stands over off to the side and says, "You people stay away from me." It's not like that at all.
I need it. Where's the coffee? I need a
not
cup.
Like that.
Are they going to have coffee in the press box on Saturday morning?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. Bart's got his whole family coming. He's got a reunion planned. They're tailgating. And they got a Notre Dame tailgate.
Lots of people have guests coming in this weekend. That's for sure.
Bart's got his Notre Dame flag outside the garage.
That's not true.
You need to decide and tell us right now where you are in this game.
I've been very clear from the very beginning. I'm a University of Arkansas alum. I will be cheering.
Say
for
it
the
with your
Razorbacks.
chest, though. Say it. I mean, you're just over there all calm.
Woo damn pig.
There you go. Chuck has thoughts. I'm going to have some coffee and let you guys roll for a while. This is going to be good.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
High school sports in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley have never had a bigger stage. I'm Melissa Orange, host of the Varsity Vibe podcast, and every week we'll be bringing you the stories, highlights, and moments that matter most to our communities. Don't miss a beat. Subscribe to our newsletter, check out the Varsity Vibe podcast, and follow us on social media for the latest scores and spotlight features. Get it all at varsityvibearkansas.com.
Football season's here, and Flight by Yuengling is the light beer built for game days. Tastes like a Yuengling, but it's a light beer, and only 95 calories. Flight raises the bar for what a light beer should be, and now it comes in a 16-ounce resealable twist-off aluminum bottle and skinny cans. Perfect for tailgates, watch parties, or just kicking back after the game. Pick it up at your favorite store or ask your bartender. Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer.
Some moments call for more than just a win. They call for unforgettable. At Blakeman's, you're not just buying a diamond. You're creating an experience that starts the moment you walk through the door. Their newly remodeled space is absolutely stunning, and Cafe B has a personal touch you won't find anywhere else. Their in-house diamond expert makes it easy to find the perfect piece for any occasion, and that purple bag, still undefeated when it comes to saving the day. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's your story.
Cutting corners is generally a bad idea. And when it comes to roofing, it's real bad. That's why Teamwork Roofing and Construction uses only the best materials, like Malarkey shingles, which perform better, protect longer, and are more sustainable. Residential or commercial. Got a complicated job? They've got the certified crews ready to deliver on time and on budget. You need a roof that's built on quality and powered by teamwork. Teamwork Roofing and Construction. Log on to teamworkbuilt.com and get a quote today. That's teamworkbuilt.com.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit gopaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal price check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
WT Equipment is overstocked on new Bobcat equipment. The lots are packed and ready to move with special fall deals you don't want to miss. Bobcat is the industry leader, tough, reliable, and built for any job. Take your pick from compact track loaders, skid steers, excavators, and more, all backed by WT Equipment's trusted service and support. And don't forget, WT Equipment's Fall on the Lot community event is Saturday, October 4th from 12 to 4 p.m. Food, games, prizes, and family fun only at WT Equipment.
I don't need Chat GTP. I've got Chuck GTP.
Amen.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
As much as y'all want us to win and the state wants us to win, the guys in the locker room want to win too. It's Notre Dame. If I had a concern, I'd be telling you that I didn't think I had a good team. And if I told you that, I'd be lying.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Can they flip it? Can they flip the momentum? Can they flip the emotion, the feelings? This is really, Chuck, you want to, we need to probably have a psychologist on or,
sports psychologist. That's what we need.
A mental coach.
Maybe.
Because this is a life lesson right here. This is a real life lesson. I mean, it is.
Lay it on me.
It is. We all have these moments in life. It can be a simple moment, and it just puts you in a bad mood. And then that spirals in your head, and every single thing wrong in your head starts snowballing, and it's like, the whole world is upside down. And then, you go into rewiring your mind, and you focus on other things, and you learn these are just thoughts. These are just emotions, and I've got to deal with how I'm going to handle these thoughts. And that's what they've got to do this week. And if they've done that, then I think just like every other game they've played in, they'll be in it with a chance to win in the fourth quarter. But if they can't do that, and this emotion and these negative thoughts are something they're dwelling on, it will not only affect each individual on the team, it will obviously affect the entire team. Can they flip it?
Oh, it's much easier for players to flip it than it is for fans. Much easier. Because fans, I mean, this is our life. I mean, it's how we mark time over the years.
You know what? That's true until you get in the game, right? And if you get in a spot where you face some adversity.
That's what I was going to say. That for the players, flipping it on Sunday, not hard to do. And if you hadn't flipped it by Monday, when somebody drills you out on the practice field, you'll flip. But the question is going to be on Saturday, what if you screw up an assignment and they score quickly? They beat you on a big play. As Pete said a minute ago, C.J. Carr goes over the top and throws a deep ball. You get burnt. He throws a perfect pass. It's 7-0. What happens then? Where are you at that point? I really don't think that they are at the let go of the rope stage. Now, I know fans are. I get all that. And believe me, I was letting go when I walked out of the stadium Saturday too. Everybody was. But I don't get the sense the team is there. Now, I know what can happen. I mean, we've seen it happen before. It can spiral and it can get out of control, and before you know it, you hit November and the right hand has no idea what the left hand's doing. I mean, we've seen it happen. But I don't think they're at that point today.
I think we need a little kumbaya campfire
we need to sing
on Friday. Can we help with this? We can get into this in the next segment. But there's an issue that we have as a fan base, and it's that we're fighting with each other. And we're arguing with each other. And when you get in that position, somebody has to lose and somebody has to win. But we're all really, at the end of the day,
they've all turned on each other.
You'd like to be rooting for the same thing on Saturday, right?
We are rooting for the same thing on Saturday, but if it doesn't work out, there's going to be a wide variety of people to blame. That's when it gets interesting.
Almost 7 o'clock. It is Wednesday. Sam Pittman live tonight at the Catfish Hole.
Gosh, it's Wednesday already.
It's Wednesday already.
It's
a little foggy.
by.
It's a little foggy out
foggy.
if you're just making your way out of the house. So proceed with caution this morning. Good morning.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
When something goes wrong, a car wreck, an injury, mounting debt, or getting denied the help you deserve, it's hard to know where to turn.
That's when Cadell Reynolds shows up. This is a team that fights for Arkansans. Personal injury, disability, bankruptcy, they handle it all. And they know how to get results.
You've got enough to deal with. Don't try to figure it out alone.
Call Cadell Reynolds, 866-314-3728, or visit CadellReynolds.com.
Cadell Reynolds, make the right call. Chevy of Fayetteville has over 200 new vehicles on the lot right now. So if you're in the market, now's the time to make a move. That includes the brand new Chevy Traverse, the Chevy Trax, and all the favorites like the Tahoes and Suburbans. And for truck lovers, there are Silverados in stock and ready for immediate delivery. So go see Chris, Mark, Denver, and the team at Chevy of Fayetteville. Together, let's drive.
The voice of the Razorbacks is Chuck Barrett, and he chose McDonald Eye Associates for his recent cataract surgery.
I went to McDonald Eyes. I can see in a way I've not seen in a long time. And I'm looking forward to this football season because of that. Your eyes are a big deal. I don't care if you're a sports play-by-play guy or what you do. You have to have trust.
My trust was developed because I knew they were listening to me.
For your best vision, trust McDonald Eye. Online and same-day appointments at mcdonaldeye.com.
So I spent yesterday. You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The Chuck and Bo Show. Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
If you're looking for one of these shows that just sort of eases into it in the morning, you're not quite awake for this. I mean, you might just start picking us up around 6:30 because we just dive right in.
Well, I've been up a while.
I'm not sure I'm ready for it. I'm talking to the person listening right now that their alarm goes off with the Chuck and Bo show.
Yeah.
By the way, that's half of America. I don't know if you've seen the ratings. That's half of America.
Astronomical.
It's Chuck and Bo, Fox News, and then whatever else.
And it's close at the top. Don't kid yourself.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this much.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, Jeff.
Do you mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
I'm in my Sunday school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, "What's heard on the Chuck and Bo show?"
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
7:02 on the Chuck and Bo Show. It's Wednesday morning. We've had breakfast, and you're going to be able to tell there's a noticeable
Everything
energy
changes.
level.
There
that
really
has
is.
Picked up here in the last 5 minutes.
Look
or
at
so.
Bart.
Wow.
I mean,
Yeah,
gosh.
he
Let's
is.
go.
I gotta tell
I'm
you,
ready.
I gotta tell you, Edward, man. Edward is he has
wow.
some. He's got that might be the coffee. That might be the Starbucks.
Bart
that you-
just
what do you want? A
exploded
nitro
through
brew
the
over
door,
there?
man. Holy cow.
You got a nitro cold brew? Is
Triple
that-
shot of espresso.
Oh, he's got it. That stuff, that nitro cold brew, man. It goes right into your veins.
Really?
That's
Oh.
yeah, nitro's good stuff.
It's
Nitro,
got
huh?
yeah.
It'll
That's
get you where
Look
you
at
need
this
to go.
guy.
It's an
He's shaking.
accelerant.
He's shaking over here. His feet are tapping. His hands are going.
Look, I'm ready to talk about this game.
Golly,
Okay.
you need a cigarette. Holy smokes. Yeah, where's Eddie? Eddie, we welfare check with Eddie. We got to make sure he's good.
Welfare check with Bart.
Yeah, well,
That's all we
I'm
need
great.
to worry about.
we got an
I'm
eye
great.
on him, but he's making me nervous.
Yeah.
I mean, at this
Let's
point,
go.
you make coffee nervous.
Let's go.
I mean,
Come on.
this is unlike
This is
you.
so cool, man.
His coffee's saying,
are
back
we
off,
doing?"
buddy. Back off.
You think Mike
Dial
Gundy?
it down.
You think Mike Gundy slept in this morning?
Ooh,
I
bet he
do.
did.
Yeah,
I'll
I bet he's
he
asleep
did.
right
He's
now.
up. You think he's gonna have
You
brunch?
should try calling him. See if
I know if I'm Mike Gundy, I'm sleeping in this morning, and I'm probably gonna have brunch somewhere today.
I'm sitting on my back deck right now, enjoying some coffee.
Oh yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
not a care in the world.
He's going to be driving that tractor around the farm, baling hay. His dad's going to be yelling at him because he's screwing it up.
You've heard this story, and I know it's true. And when Jimbo Fisher got fired at Texas A&M, by daylight the next morning, he'd already shot a deer. I mean, that's how much these guys anguish.
Yeah.
You know, fans is like, oh, my God, I don't know what we're going to do. Jimbo, I'm going to go deer hunting.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to go do.
With how many million?
Yeah, with the, I got $75 million. I can buy
Yeah.
a gun.
Yeah, I can afford a hunting license. JR in Shady Grove, good morning. You're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Morning, guys. How y'all doing?
Hey, JR.
Good. You know what? The biggest thing for me, I'm not personally ill will toward any of the coaching staff or anything like that. I mean, I'm not in that mindset. The biggest disappointment is just the amount of effort that was put forth in that game Saturday. And what's going to be even more disappointing is if they come out Saturday and actually make a game of it or do win, because that really compounds the issue from the Memphis game, is because the effort that's put on the field is conditional. And that all comes from coaching. I don't care what anybody says. It's in every aspect of life, whether you're a head of a company, a CEO, your staff or your team is a reflection of who you are. And when you make comments,
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. No.
No.
You go ahead. I interrupted, and I apologize. You go ahead.
okay. No, what I was going to say was, what he said the other day, I've just heard snippets of him. They don't even know he said, I only know if we practiced in the heat enough during this fall practice or whatever. And I don't understand that. How can you not practice in the heat to get your team conditioned? Your practices should be harder than any game that you play in. That way you're prepared to go the long haul and not be wore out. So go ahead, Chuck. What was you going to ask me?
Well, I was just going to say, and you kind of pointed it out there. We are at the point right now where when you lose a game like that, whatever the coach says, we're going to pick it apart. Frankly, I don't know if I would have said out loud, we probably should have practiced in the heat more, because I don't know that really had anything to do with what happened in the game at the end of the day or not. I have no idea. But that's just what I was going to say. Was
Okay.
that, you know, no matter when you lose a game like that, no matter what is said when it's over, it's not going to be the answer people want to hear.
JR, I've got one disagreement with something you said.
Okay.
Winning against Notre Dame or playing great or having maximum effort against Notre Dame, there is no negative in that. All you can do is go back and try to do better. They got to play 8 more games. And the idea that would somehow make the Memphis effort look even worse. I mean, we already know what the Memphis effort was. It wasn't good enough. But I don't need them to continue doing it to prove that.
No, but my point is
I know what your point is. And you're talking about conditional,
game.
but I'll say this. And again, I don't disagree with your criticisms. But every program in the country is going to have games where they don't play at the same level or energy level that they do in other games. And we hear about it all the time. Like, you can get your team up for like 5 games a year, you know? Like, really.
I agree with that.
But it is puzzling what happened in the Memphis game, especially at the end. I think the thing that, if you picked one thing that was the most frustrating about that game, it was the third down conversion with the backup quarterback where they run right up the middle and Arkansas doesn't have enough guys rallying to the ball. And that was confusing. It's hard to understand.
Yeah, it was. And, you know, year six into this program, that's all mental breakdowns. And I know what you're saying. It's hard to get up for every game. And you're right. It's 5 or 6 games you're mentally, you know, that it's really hard to swallow year 6 in game 4. But anyway,
it is.
Y'all have a good day.
It is.
Thank
you too, man. Appreciate your thoughts.
I do think it's worth pointing out it's not the 6th year for these players, and you know they're not wind-up robots. I mean, you know, they're saying the same things they've always said. It's just to a different group of people. And you know, here's the thing, and you kind of touched on this going into the break at the top of the hour. The worst thing for me this week, and I'll just be honest, because we've been through this so many times, has been the way we just turn on each other. I mean, you know, you've said on this show, and others have said too, that for Arkansas to do well in football, everybody's got to be on the same page. I don't even think we're in the same book. I mean, we're not even in the same book. You know, we are so hung up on, you know, huggers and haters and lovers and fighters and Little Rock and North Little Rock and all, you know, Fayetteville, all this stuff. We've all got, we have so many factions in our state right now. And, you know, some of this stuff, you know, was heightened for me anyway in the aftermath of the Arkansas State, the Little Rock Fayetteville thing. It's like, here we go again. We cannot get out of our own way when it comes to some of this stuff. We got leftover issues from 20 years ago in our fan base. We got factions of our fan base that still hate each other based on what happened in somewhere between 2003, 2006, 2007, when it all went sideways with Houston Nutt. We got too many people that take pleasure in other people's pain. We do. And I'm talking about our own fans. When we lose, we can't wait to see what our best friend down the street who thought Arkansas was going to win's got to say. I want to listen to what Chuck and Bo have to say. Those guys, those propagandists. And by the same token, when they win, you've got a faction of the fan base that wants to go down there and scream in the face of the guy that says Sam Pittman sucks. I mean, this is where we are. And it's where we've been for 25 years. And it's why it's at least part of the reason why we can't get this right. We change coaches, we fire, we hire, but we can't seem to get it right. And I think a lot of it is we can't get out of our own way. And that's what's bothered me about this week is here we go again. We talk about here we go again in terms of how we lose a game. Here we go again in the way we just turn on each other. I mean, and isn't that the characteristic of all struggling organizations? All struggling groups? Isn't that the characteristic that, generally speaking, defines them by the end? They've all turned on each other, you know? And Maybe I'm reading too much into it. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm over dramatizing things. But that's what I see.
I think you said it really well. I think if you take a step back and you look, it's exactly what goes on. I mean, yeah, the idea of the outcome of games is going to be which side of the aisle is going to be barking at the other side of the aisle.
That's right.
Instead of like being all in it to, for the same reason, like you want them to win. We've got too much of it's about me, and like Orville Henry said it'll always be the truth. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's about the Razorbacks. And particularly for those of us that are in the sports media world, whatever your role is, whether it's a talk show host or a television personality covering the Razorbacks, or you're writing, you're whatever it is. It should be about that. And I think there's a little bit of a popularity contest for some of us in sports media. And then I think the way the world has become because of social media, it's like you've got to
own the other
both
side.
Sides of the aisle. There's got to be one side or the other. And it creates this divisiveness, and you just forget what you're really about. And now you're going to have people that are rooting for them to lose because they want to see a change.
It happens every Saturday in every fan base. We're not the only ones. In every fan base in America, you've got somebody out there that has an ulterior motive that has led them to think, it might not be the worst thing if we got beat this week, because that will, that'll accelerate what I want to see happen. And that's not uncommon.
Lane has phoned in from Cave City. Good morning, Lane. It's 7:13, and you're on the Chuck and Bo Show. What's happening?
Hey, good morning, guys. And it's an honor to get to be on the show with y'all.
Well, thanks. Glad to have you.
I just want to ask this question, and I ain't got the answer to this question. I wish I did. I'd be a billionaire if I did. But so listening from y'all to all the other shows on Hit That Line and talking with your next door neighbor, like y'all said, and everything, I think, for the most part, as a Arkansas fan base or community, we kind of know the problem, or everybody has their own opinion of what the problem is. But one thing I've always noticed in my 30 years of being an Arkansas fan, we can always pick the problem out real easy, but what's the solution? And we've never, I know that's the $1 million question.
That's life.
But
that's life, right? Like it's easy to expose and talk about problems and gripe and complain, and then we all think that the solve, especially when it's somebody else's job, is easy.
Yeah. Well, and that's, I don't know. Everybody says wipe the program and restart. Well, I thought we tried that.
That's another one. That's another one. Is like when people talk about leadership. It's leadership. It's coaching. It's like, okay, well, we act like that's easy too, because that we take examples of where it's been successful, and we think you just take that and you put it here. But Phil Jackson wasn't successful everywhere. I mean, not everybody that coached the Bulls could do it. When Michael Jordan and they had a loaded roster. Not everybody's been able to do what Saban did at Alabama. And by the way, Saban couldn't do that with the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah. Well, and I agree with y'all 100% on that. And like I said, I know I didn't bring up just a world-breaking point or nothing, but I appreciate y'all taking my call, and I hope y'all have a good rest of your day.
Well, it makes sense, and I think people hit that.
Hey, they do, man. When they're gone, they're gone.
They're done. I mean, I can appreciate that. When you're on the phone with somebody, and maybe you're on Bluetooth, and you're like, well, I got something in my hand here. I'm driving. They're going to hang up, and they don't. It's just like, that is not what happens on this show.
No.
When you got to be the one that hang up. But, man, I could do, like, personal calls with these because they just hang up.
Yeah.
They just bang, get right off the phone. I like it.
I do too.
But what he touched on there is so interesting and true to me. And that is, What we really have is just frustration.
That's right.
It's just really what it is.
Oh, you're right.
And so then you're just trying to feel better, and we have like all the answers, but do we really? And that's to me that where the conversation that we've had this week has been about, like, there's so many things, not excusing coaching or accountability or, all of that. There's so many other things beyond that it is going to take. And you mentioned a lot of it a second ago, and being on the same page is one of them. That's what they're doing at Teamwork Roofing and Construction, by the way. They're on the same page, on the same roof all the time, communicating with you from day one about what the job is, how long it's going to take, getting your budget and getting it on time, using high quality materials, sustainable, durable materials like Malarkey shingles, and then certified crews that you can count on to not cut any corners and get the job done right and get it done right the first time. Teamwork Roofing and Construction. Check out their website. If you need a quote today, just go to teamworkbuilt.com. Teamworkbuilt.com. Built on quality, powered by teamwork. That's Teamwork Roofing and Construction.
Bo.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
High school sports in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley have never had a bigger stage. I'm Melissa Orange, host of the Varsity Vibe podcast, and every week we'll be bringing you the stories, highlights, and moments that matter most to our communities. Don't miss a beat. Subscribe to our newsletter, check out the Varsity Vibe podcast, and follow us on social media for the latest scores and spotlight features. Get it all at varsityvibearkansas.com.
Some moments just call for something unforgettable. At Blakeman's, you don't just buy a diamond. You create an unforgettable experience. Their newly remodeled space is stunning with Cafe B right inside and their in-house diamond expert that'll help you find the perfect piece every time. That's just part of the Blakeman's experience. When you see the purple bag, you know it's something special. It always saves the day. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's your story.
Are your gutters ready for fall? Leaves are coming, and that means it's time to protect your home. At Hogtroff Gutters, they install high-quality leaf guards that actually work. Don't waste money on the cheap guards from big box stores that clog up, and don't get stuck paying triple the price with those big national companies. With Hogtroff, you get the best of both worlds: professional installation, premium aluminum, and stainless steel guards, as well as a 20-year warranty. Give them a call today to schedule your free inspection, or visit hoggutters.com.
There's simply not a better shopping experience than Macadoodles. Looking for the best selection of beer, wine, and spirits? Macadoodles or Guess Who in Bentonville has you covered. With an unbeatable selection, amazing prices, and service that's unbeatable, they've got everything you need. Whether you're stocking up for a party, updating your bar, or just grabbing your favorites, Roger and the team are always there to help. Make the smart choice. Macadoodles, just north of Bella Vista at the state line, and Guess Who in Bentonville.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You hear that? You hear that?
Back to Save Sports Radio.
That's special.
When's the last time you wrote someone a handwritten note?
It's been a while, I have to admit. I mean, I've sent a lot of what I consider
Birthday
to be
cards.
meaningful texts, but I have.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
It's time to go to the situation.
Let's go to the
room.
Chevy Fayetteville Situation
Bart.
Room. Bart, want to thank you for going to Starbucks today.
Yes.
We ran out of coffee pods. Does that say woo on there?
It apparently does. Yes, I noticed that.
What is
woo?
what
I don't
is-
know. I don't know. Mine just says thank you.
Okay. All right.
Woo. I mean, hey,
Mine says yummy.
no.
Does it really?
No.
With 3 exclamation
Oh my God, it
points.
does.
Yeah.
Well, you might want to
Three
go.
of them.
You might want to go down there and see who did that.
I was going to say,
Gonna
might
do
need
a
to go
follow
back.
up.
Might need to go
Hey, a
back.
little follow up.
right.
Or what's happening in the Chevy Fayetteville situation?
Well, I want to talk about scheduling for a second.
Foggy in Fayetteville and other parts of our state. A little dense this morning. Be careful.
And I want to start here. I want to start with this game Saturday, and how cool it is that this game is happening. Right? Like, I know it's not ideal circumstances, right? Arkansas is 2-2, Notre Dame's 1-2. Fans are down on the program right now. Fans are down on the coach. It's not the season you wanted to be having at this point, when you thought, hey, this might be a matchup of undefeated teams. This might be SEC Nation might be here, maybe College Game Day. I know it's an 11 a.m. kickoff, and I know that sucks, and that sucks the life out of some of it. But, it's still really cool that this game is happening. Arkansas and Notre Dame, the Lou Holtz Bowl, if you will.
Lou Holtz coming up at 8:30 on the show today. Yeah. Legendary Lou Holtz.
It's really cool that this game is happening, and I love these types of matchups, these types of intersectional, cross-country, not rivalry games, but just non-conference games that we had for a long time in college football. And then you saw the trend of these games kind of move into neutral sites, and I didn't like that at all. These games should be on campus. And then there's been the move back to doing that. Alabama going to Wisconsin, hosting Wisconsin, LSU, same thing. These games are happening again. And now they're getting, destroyed by the 9-game conference schedule. And you're seeing these games getting canceled throughout the country. So you can set up your schedule to collaborate or conspire with the SEC, whose hand has been forced because of the Big Ten. And again, why anybody is letting the Big Ten drive decision-making in college athletics is beyond me, because they're the worst decision-makers in the sport. But
It was so positive there for a minute.
I was going to say.
I was just beaming like it was Christmas.
yeah.
It was like, oh, look at
It's
the
a-
presents.
yeah, it's gonna
And
be a
then- and
great
then he comes
day.
in. He comes in and rips it right
But
out of your
there's a
hand.
cloud.
That's not
There's
for
a
you.
dark
There's a
right
cloud.
there.
There's a cloud, and it's what the SEC's done with their schedules.
What are your thoughts
and,
on that?
And specifically, just what it means for Arkansas. And look, I think this is half the SEC's fault. I think it's half Arkansas's own fault.
Okay, all right. 50-50 blame.
Next year's schedule, you've got 9 conference games, then you're playing Tulsa, North Alabama, and you're going to Utah. Okay, so you're going to have 5 road games next year, in 2020, which is not out of the ordinary. In 2027, you're going to have 6 road games, 6 games away from Razorback Stadium, because you're playing 5 SEC teams on the road, and you're going to Tulsa. What is that? What in the world? Why is Arkansas going to Tulsa?
Why? Yeah.
Why?
What are we doing here? So now you're going to play LSU, at Missouri, Texas, Alabama, Ole Miss, at Florida, at Mississippi State, at Oklahoma. By the way, you're also playing Oklahoma State, and you're playing at Tulsa. You're hurting yourself. The SEC is hurting the Razorbacks with a schedule like that, and the Razorbacks are hurting themselves with what they're doing, or what they've done. Now, look, I understand that was done before it was a 9-game conference schedule. Right? I understand that was but there's still no reason for Arkansas to ever be going to Tulsa.
Are you saying
playing
in
the
2027 that Arkansas is playing Oklahoma State?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a home
And
game
Oklahoma.
in Fayetteville?
Yes.
Yeah, so they got Alabama.
They'll have a chance to be Oklahoma State champions. Tulsa, Oklahoma State, and Oklahoma.
So in 2 years from now, not next season, but the season after, Arkansas is going to host Alabama, Kentucky, Ole Miss, Texas, Oklahoma State,
And an FCS team.
and a garbage team
to be named later.
And by the way, we should start applauding that. Away games: Florida, LSU, Mississippi State, Missouri, Oklahoma, and
Tulsa. Skelly Stadium.
All right, so-
H.A. Chapman Skelly Stadium, or whatever it's called now.
They're going to have to change some of this stuff.
That was a 3-for-1 deal, I think.
Yeah, they got to get out of that deal.
With
Well,
all due respect,
look. Scheduling's really important, and
Now more
I
than
talk
ever.
about it probably more than I should, because I think scheduling, how you schedule, has a lot to do with what the numbers look like at the end of the year. I do believe that
100%.
And here's the thing, and Bart touched on this: you're not going to get any help from the SEC. You're just
Ever.
not.
Ever.
They're going to favor the upper echelon teams because they're the ones that bring home the bacon at the end of the year. When all those, all that money starts getting divvied out, they're the ones that bring in the lion's share of it. They want them in those games. So the schedule is going to favor those teams. You've got to take care of yourself when it comes to the non-conference stuff. I don't believe, and I'll just be honest here, I don't believe you've got any business playing over in Memphis. There's a reason why Arkansas had not played Memphis at that stadium since 1998. There's a reason why. And it's not because we just couldn't get it worked out. You don't go do that because you're asking for what happened Saturday to happen.
Memphis comes to Fayetteville.
And-
Tulsa comes to Fayetteville.
Yeah, but
with all due respect to those programs.
And neither one of those teams is going to pack the house when they come. I mean, they're just not. I understand the logic of we've got to go play at Utah to get Utah to come here.
100%.
My thought is with 9 conference ball games now, you don't really need to be playing Utah, period. And look, if you think that, I realize fans have this attitude, well, we just need to be good enough to play all those teams. Nobody schedules like that except teams who are like, having losing records at the end of the year. You don't see your powerhouse teams loading up their schedule with non-conference road games against non-Power 5 teams. It just doesn't happen. I don't know all the circumstances surrounding it. It's easy to be critical, but I do think scheduling becomes even more important now than ever.
So on top of that, okay, let me just add another layer on top of that. You have people who want for Arkansas to play Arkansas State in Little Rock every year. So you want Arkansas to play 6 games away from home in 2027 and then go to Little Rock and play Arkansas State.
I don't know if you caught Arthur's comment earlier, but he talked about that being Arkansas's 3rd consecutive road game.
Yeah, he did say that, and he's right.
And like the reality is, forget who the fans were cheering for at the Little Rock game. They had to play on the road at Little Rock. That's further away than Tulsa. They had to play on the road at Ole Miss, and they had to play on the road at Memphis. And I haven't done the research, but I would find his statement to be logical that when you play 3 straight games away from home, the 3rd game is going to likely be the worst effort game.
Find me a team in the top 25. Find me a team sniffing the top 25 that's played the last 3 games away from their campus. I mean, think about
Find
that.
a team in college football that's
Period.
not just taking games for money that's doing that. 7:31. Good morning. You're right, Chuck. You're right. You're right.
You're not wrong, Chuck.
Because we
that's
don't
all I
want
wanted to hear. That's really all I wanted to hear.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
WT Equipment is overstocked on new Bobcat equipment. The lots are packed and ready to move with special fall deals you don't want to miss. Bobcat is the industry leader, tough, reliable, and built for any job. Take your pick from compact track loaders, skid steers, excavators, and more, all backed by WT Equipment's trusted service and support. And don't forget, WT Equipment's Fall on the Lot community event is Saturday, October 4th from 12 to 4 p.m. Food, games, prizes, and family fun only at WT Equipment.
Chevy of Fayetteville has over 200 new vehicles on the lot right now. So if you're in the market, now's the time to make a move. That includes the brand new Chevy Traverse, the Chevy Trax, and all the favorites like the Tahoes and Suburbans. And for truck lovers, there are Silverados in stock and ready for immediate delivery. So go see Chris, Mark, Denver, and the team at Chevy of Fayetteville. Together, let's drive.
Know what else makes you an Arkansas Razorback fan? Going to the University of Arkansas. How about playing football for the team?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
guys, we didn't get beat by 100. We lost 2 games. Our plan is to beat Notre Dame. We've got a good team. We're doing the right things. We got to hold on to the football, and we got to tackle better, and we got to play hard.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, a little shout out to the Varsity Vibe, Lindsay Management, Athlete of the Week this week. Shiloh's 72-0 win was quarterbacked by Cole Creighton. 13 of 15, 296 yards, 3 touchdowns. So congratulations
a lot of big
to
plays
Cole
in
Creighton.
that game.
Yeah.
Explosive
72-0's like
Jump
an old
plays.
Shiloh score
Yeah,
back to like the
say.
late 90s.
Yeah.
Like when Rhett Lashley was a quarterback at Shiloh. Those are some big numbers. Who did they play at Junction City back in those days where they'd have those like 62 to 58 games?
I look at some of these high school scores, not all of them. They're becoming the exception rather than the rule. But you'll look at, like 72 to 68. It's like, how does that happen? They play 12-minute quarters. How does that happen?
Man. Offense is obviously prevalent in college football. Can Arkansas give Notre Dame fits on Saturday? The Fighting Irish, 101st in the country defensively. Brian is in Greenwood. Brian, good morning.
Good morning. So this is my 3rd morning in a row. We kind of have a Snapchat streak going here.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
But,
I just did that with my daughter. This is the
I heard
only
you talk about
reason
it.
I'm on Snapchat. I'm going to give you an update. We are at 576 days, Chuck.
That's big.
Keeping a family together,
Yeah.
baby.
Yes, yeah.
Snapchat.
I don't know if I can beat that, but what I wanted to talk about was last night I did watch the selection show for the permanent opponents, and I watched some podcasts after that. And of course, the consensus was Arkansas has the number 1 or number 2 most difficult 3 opponents. The other one they were talking about was Auburn with Georgia, Alabama, and then they were throwing Vanderbilt. But one of the interesting things I found out about, and I tried to ask AI about this, but I think I broke her, was Arkansas was the only team that had a losing record against all 3 permanent opponents. Now, I don't know if you got one of those big Arkansas books or not, but is there any team they could have given us that we actually have a winning record against?
Oh, good question.
Ole Miss, Mississippi State.
They've got a winning record all time. Is that what you're talking about? All
time? Yeah, all time.
Let's phone a friend. Let's call Rick Schaefer.
Well, look, Arkansas has been in the league 33 years, and they've not had a lot of success. So I wouldn't think that there would be very many teams in the league that they do have winning records against. What you said, though, I think is interesting, Brian. Let me say this. The one thing that I noticed yesterday in all the reactions around the league from the various fans of different teams was the first thing they looked at was what their record is against their permanent opponents. We were all talking about, I wonder if they'll play that game in Little Rock the Friday after Thanksgiving. That's what we were talking about. And I just found that reaction interesting yesterday.
Brian, thanks for the call, and we'll look for number 4 in a row tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate it. I like Brian as a caller. He has some humor. He has a point to make. Textbook, really. Matt in Morrilton, you're next on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
What is up? What's up, Bo? What's up, Chuck?
Hi, man.
Hey, man.
Hey, Bo. This is your old Coach Long friend from Teamwork Roofing, my friend.
Oh yeah, good to hear from you.
You bet, Coach Long. Hey, tried to get on here for a while, but I'm on now. Hey, my take on this is being an old retired coach after 32 years. My take on it is I just want to say a little bit about the program. I went through a time where I had in a situation with being a head coach where it was kind of a situation like I took over for a veteran. It's kind of like being the head coach at Indiana when Bobby Knight's your assistant. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of take my take on it. I look at the Hogs. I'm an old coach, so I don't gripe about coaching. I'm not griping about coaching. My take on it is we kind of look like deer in the headlights on the sidelines. And I think it just seems to me like we feel a little overshadowed and not a lot of motivating going on. So I'm not on here to talk bad about coaching at all. Coaching for 32 years, my take is let's get the deer in the headlights look out of our eyes and just get after something.
What do you think that comes from?
I don't know. I think it's pressure. You know, of course, I used to put pressure on myself. I think it's pressure. I think it's, in my eyes, I think Petrino's one of the best, but I think, and I love Pitt to death. I love Coach Pittman to death. I think it's a little bit of deer in the headlights, overshadowed, overlooked. And I just go back to, I don't blame it on coaching. I'm an old high school coach. I'm not going to talk about X's and O's, but one of the things I loved about Houston, Dale, was no matter what you were coming off of, a big win, a big loss, or whatever it was on the next day. It was motivating and getting after people.
Yeah, it's a fair assessment. Like looking back at him. The other thing, and Coach, great to hear from you. Stay safe on the roofs today. Teamwork Roofing and Construction, one of our great partners, and a bunch of great people. I think about Houston Nutt, and I think about that infectious personality. I think about Cal when Cal was 1-5 in conference, and his resolve and his energy and his messaging, and those are all things that fans can gravitate towards. I think in football, like the attitude, and I'm not going to say the majority of fans, but the attitude in the offseason. I mean, Chuck, we were in here in a fight every day before we ever played a game. And we can talk about outside noise and how you are in the building, and it goes back to a little bit of what Chuck was saying earlier. I mean, everybody wants to feel valued. And let me just ask you, like, it's rhetorical, but do you perform better when you feel valued at whatever it is you're doing? I mean, I know we can all take negative energy and flip that around and turn it into motivation, and that's probably what they're trying to do this week. But the idea that you go suit up and play, or you go to game plan and you feel like your fans are against you. I mean, this is not even in the season. I'm talking about before the season ever started.
Depends on how you use it. I've seen teams, we've had Razorback teams here in a variety of sports who have used that as motivation, and it's turned into a positive. We've had other teams who've had those moments and managed to swallow them up. It's eaten them alive. But no, I mean, that has something to do with it. I mean,
it just doesn't help.
No, it doesn't help.
You know what I mean? And it's just, it goes back to this.
You're right.
I want to be right.
No, you're right.
I want to be right. And when you get into the season, man, I mean, it's at this point, it is what it is. And the more people that are like-minded are, I think, going to have the most success.
By the way, Bart's done the research. Arkansas has a winning record against Ole Miss, Mississippi State, South Carolina, Texas A&M, Vanderbilt. None are permanent opponents. None.
Yeah. Well, why don't they match up the teams like that? Like historically in the league, why don't you match up teams that have the more common records over the course of time? I mean, I think we know the answer. Well, you want to give the more historically successful teams some easier games.
I mean, look, if they were really into, let's have the best games, let's have the traditional game that everybody wants to see, LSU would be playing Alabama every year, just like they always have. They're not playing each other every year because, I mean, that's not good for business. At the end of the year when you're trying to get multiple teams into the playoff, but it is what it is.
First Security Bank's more than banking. They're all in on local support and all the things you need to bank better, convenient locations all throughout the state, but friendly local banking. It's that simple. That's how you bank better. Bank better at First Security Bank, fsbank.com. First Security Bank, member FDIC.
Real quick, Arkansas's 3 permanent opponents. The Hogs have a 50-111 record against them. And 2. There were 2 ties. 50-111. Tell me how that helps anybody. Tell me how that helps anybody in that building.
Moment of silence.
Yeah.
1.
Yeah, what's your point?
You want my point?
Yes, I asked for it. Make it.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
It's stunning to hear every 20 minutes a child is diagnosed with a critical illness. But we can help grant life-changing wishes with Waiters for Wishes and the Razorback men's basketball team. It's Tuesday, September 30th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Walk-Ons in Fayetteville. This private ticketed event lets you take photos, get autographs, challenge your favorite hog to a Pop-A-Shot, and bid on silent auction items, all benefiting Make-A-Wish Mid-South. Tables are limited and going fast, so reserve yours today at midsouth.wish.org.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
The Razorback Raffle is back. This raffle is a new and exciting way to support Razorback athletics, whether you're inside Razorback Stadium or calling the Hogs anywhere in the great state of Arkansas. Our inaugural raffle jackpots grew to nearly $500,000 last spring. Now you can be our next big winner, even if you're not in the stadium. Get your raffle ticket purchased to have a chance to win big right now at RazorbackRaffle.com.
When something goes wrong, a car wreck, an injury, mounting debt, or getting denied the help you deserve, it's hard to know where to turn.
That's when Cadell Reynolds shows up. This is a team that fights for Arkansans. Personal injury, disability, bankruptcy, they handle it all. And they know how to get results.
You've got enough to deal with. Don't try to figure it out alone.
Call Cadell Reynolds, 866-314-3728, or visit CadellReynolds.com.
Cadell Reynolds, make the right call.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Cutting corners is generally a bad idea. And when it comes to roofing, it's real bad. That's why Teamwork Roofing and Construction uses only the best materials, like Malarkey shingles, which perform better, protect longer, and are more sustainable. Residential or commercial. Got a complicated job? They've got the certified crews ready to deliver on time and on budget. You need a roof that's built on quality and powered by Teamwork. Teamwork Roofing and Construction. Log on to teamworkbuilt.com and get a quote today. That's teamworkbuilt.com. When is the last time you thought, oh, the SEC's making an announcement today, and it's going to be good for the Hogs?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
think I have 1,100 subscriptions. I'm pretty sure. It is so ridiculous.
That guy subscribed to Hulu twice.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I got to clean up my subscriptions, man.
I was thinking that last night.
I got too many.
You know, you get toward the end of the month. I don't know about you, but you kind of, you get online, you look at that bank statement and what's gone through and what hasn't. It's like, what? What's that? Did somebody steal my card? I mean, that's the first. It's like, no, you did that.
I know. It's out of control. It's Wednesday. Chuck's got Sam Pittman live tonight, and we begin to turn our focus to the game on Saturday. It has been an emotionally draining week today.
It really has.
And it is foggy in Fayetteville this morning. But there is a bright and sunny 11 a.m. kickoff coming on Saturday.
It's going to be nice and cool Saturday morning. Sun's going to be out. It's going to get up in the low 80s. It's going to be a nice day.
Down to 3.5. Notre Dame favored by 3.5.
Isn't that incredible?
We had Pete Sampson on from The Athletic. He's a beat writer covering Notre Dame on a daily basis. And there is reason for concern from the Notre Dame perspective.
I didn't really realize this until, I guess, listening to Pete and looking at the line again this morning, is that I think the outside world's looking at Arkansas kind of like the way we looked at Memphis last week, that you better watch out because these guys have you at home and they're just good enough to ruin your day if you're not playing well. And that's kind of where Memphis was. They were good enough to ruin our day and, the days that followed too. And I think that's kind of how the outside world views this one.
The biggest frustration, I think, for Hog fans over these close losses over the last few years has been that it could easily, in your mind, have been the other way. All the way back to Oklahoma State last year. And these two games this year. And not being able to get on the other side of that and to have it happen so many times is the tab that is sort of turned into a dark cloud.
Well, the key phrase in what you said, in my opinion, was when you look back at Oklahoma State last year, we've always got a game to look back on. You take this year just by itself, when you say 2 fumbles away from being 4-0, you can say it with a straight face. When you combine it with everything that's happened over, a multitude of years, it becomes more difficult to swallow.
At the same time, you can look at it this way. They should be in this game again in the fourth quarter on Saturday. Can they figure out a way to win it? When it comes to watching games, nobody does it like Walk-Ons. Over 60 TVs at every location, and the food and drinks win. Mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine like po' boys and gumbo, plus fan favorites like the best burger you can get anywhere, and more draft beers and cocktails than you can count. Incredible food, wonderful service, and a viewing experience like none other. Walk-On Sports Bistro. We live for this. There's simply not a better shopping experience than Macadoodles. Looking for the best selection of beer, wine, and spirits? Macadoodles or Guess Who in Bentonville has you covered. With an unbeatable selection, amazing prices, and service that's unbeatable, they've got everything you need. Whether you're stocking up for a party, updating your bar, or just grabbing your favorites, Roger and the team are always there to help. Make the smart choice. Macadoodles, just north of Bella Vista at the state line, and Guess Who in Bentonville.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit gopaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal Price Check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Buying or selling a home's a big deal, and you want someone who is with you every step of the way. That's why those of us at the Chuck and Bo Show wholeheartedly recommend Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, because we've experienced it. They've been my partners for life. They're Bo's partner now, and I promise you, when you become involved with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, they'll become your partners for life too. They've been turning houses into homes since 1978, and you can always log on and check out their selection at WeicherGriffin.com.
We were 0-5. They put us all in the coffin. They just didn't put the nails in.
The Chuck and Bo Show. Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
Which is worse, being shooed or shushed?
Probably shushed.
I mean, you want to start a fight at home?
Chuck, you sound like you have some
Well,
experience.
I'm just saying. Now, being shooed for a guy, being shooed is probably worse than being shushed.
Probably so.
For a female, it's been my experience. I can only speak from experience. That shushing is worse than shooing. Shushing is, I mean, that's going to get you in trouble.
Chuck and Bo Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this morning.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, Jeff.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
I'm in my Sunday school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, "What's heard on the Chuck and Bo Show?"
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
You know, I was just reading something. Bart knew all this. I had no idea. Do you know the titles of head coach, offensive coordinator, and defensive coordinator at Notre Dame are sponsored? Like the head coaching title, Marcus Freeman is known on the Notre Dame campus, at least by the administrators, as the Dick Corbett head football coach.
Oh, yeah. I've
And,
seen this happen.
Yeah, I didn't realize this was the thing now.
I've seen this happen at schools.
And, like, for example, Chris Ash is the Bob Hinton defensive coordinator.
Mike Dimbrock is the John and Bobby Arlotta family offensive coordinator.
Yeah, you know, I mean, that's a big title.
So
that'll fill up a business card
head coach,
right there.
DC, OC, quarterbacks coach, defensive backs coach, offensive line coach, defensive line coach.
Are they all sponsored?
All are titled.
Yeah.
By
Wow.
donors.
I had no idea.
Donors.
So cool.
Now, that's great.
Wouldn't that be great to have your name?
That's right.
Just
It
like-
would be.
That's right.
Because Bart came from a family of non-educators, as he did. He maybe came from like a financial institution of Warren Buffett.
Damn glad I did.
He came from a family of crooks, Bart.
Okay, yeah. We were down there, and you just had your name on the Bart Pullman head coach, Sam Pittman. Hey, by the way, Chuck.
That could go sour for you though too if things go poorly, you know.
I know. I don't mean to make anybody terribly angry this morning, but I just wanted to point out that if Arkansas were to win the game on Saturday, they would be exactly where Chuck said they needed to be after the first 5 games.
I thought about that. I said you need to be above 500 at the end of September.
They got to go 3-2 in this stretch. And just because it didn't get drawn up the way you planned it, what are you going to say on Monday?
They don't draw pictures on scorecards.
Listen to that golf analogy.
Holy cow.
Hey, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So you see this Awala water bottle I have?
Yeah. That's
okay. So I'm at the gym yesterday, and I have this with me. And I go take a big, giant gulp out of this water bottle.
That's
I've
a
just
stylish
finished a
water
workout.
bottle. That's very stylish.
And I'm thirsty. And then I realize as I'm carrying the water bottle in my hand, it's not mine. Mine's right over there. Now, at this point, here's what I want to know what you think I should do at this moment. But I made an about face and I immediately pivoted and went right back, put it down and walked off and hoped nobody saw. And then I thought maybe I should alert people that whose bottle of water is that I took a big drink at. What do you do?
I think you handled it the right way. I mean, I really do.
Just pretend it never
It would have
happened.
just made it worse. It would have only made it
Chuck's
worse.
very non-confrontational.
No, it's
What do you do?
Look, I mean, if you were carrying diseases, that'd be different. But as far as I know, you're not. And so
Carrying diseases.
So
what is he, a possum?
well, but what I'm saying
The
is there's generally no harm, no foul. There's
Yeah.
no harm, no foul.
That's the example.
and
No
that-
harm, no
yeah,
foul.
that's
Yeah.
it. Play on.
Yeah, play on.
And that's how I would have done
That's
it.
what I did. I played
would
on.
have played on.
I played on.
I think you handled it the right
I just
way.
kind of went over and just took a drink of my own after that. But I was like, ooh, that was a faux pas.
Well, I mean, it happens.
Yeah,
it happens.
It does.
I mean, because let's
And-
face it, the water bottle competition's tremendous these days. I mean, everyone wants to have the most stylish water bottle. And so consequently, when you see one, I mean, you're just attracted to it. Take a big drink right now. There you go.
Rod's on I-40. Rod, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How's it going today?
Hey, Rod.
Man, Rob, we're doing great. We're turning the corner, Rod. Arkansas is only a 3.5-point dog on Saturday. Are you starting to believe they can win?
They better put on that signal before they turn the corner. They might get busted. I
Spoken like a
don't
true
know,
truck
man.
driver.
I mean, they can jump up and fight somebody, and like Tennessee last year. It's like, what the hell just happened? We just beat Tennessee. I don't believe it. So we're going to beat Notre Dame? Yeah, that would be exactly their style. Because I mean, we have Sam Pittman, the Bud Light coach. Is that what he be?
No,
He's
more of a Coors Light guy.
Yeah, this is exactly the kind of game we'll win. It's a trap game for. I would say it's a trap game for Notre Dame because they're definitely looking past us. Man, that just fries my synapses. Oh, and speaking of picking up the wrong water bottle,
yeah.
My wife has a thing for lemon water. She mixed with her soda. And she has this beautiful bottle of lemon water sitting right next to my regular water in the fridge. It looks the same. Nice and cold, I'll pick it up and I take this huge, I'm thirsty, I've been out working, huge gulp of pure lemon water. Oh, my God, it puckered me all the way down. And it was really, really not pleasant. I mean, I didn't take on like I just swallowed the bitterest thing in the whole world. There's no sugar in it, just lemon. Oh, my goodness. So careful with them water bottles, right?
Hey, but you know what? You just kind of, after you get rid of the bitter beer face, you just kind of smile and say, man, that was healthy for me.
Hey, if I'd have broke wind, I'd have smelled like a car freshener. Yeah, if I'd have broke wind, I'd have smelled like a car freshener. You know what I mean? It was horrible.
Oh, yeah.
My goodness, my stomach hurt for an hour.
Really?
I tried drinking soda, and no help. Just I tried drinking more water.
What do you normally drink, Rod?
Oh, I drink like diet soda, water. Sometimes when I'm feeling, I drink tea. But I haven't drank alcohol since '96 when I wet willied my boss in both ears at the Christmas party. We're on the way home, and my wife says, "You know what it is?" I said, "Yeah, it's time to stop drinking." She goes, "Yeah, it is."
That's awesome. What a story! What a story! That is fantastic.
Everyone has their moment.
Yeah.
When you know.
When you know, you know. And it's when I wet willied my boss in both ears.
At a Christmas party.
Yeah, she said, I walked up behind John and said, "Hey, John, woo!" She goes, "You just did not do that to your boss." I said, "Tell me, I don't remember."
Oh my gosh. So
yeah, that was.
So as a truck driver, do you have like one of those big, Route 44 things in your cup holder when you're driving the truck?
Well, actually, I have a wet bag over here with a plastic liner that's got ice in it, and I have soda and water and just about anything you want in this bag over here.
That's I mean, you're on the road. You're on the road all day, every day, aren't you?
Yeah. 32-ounce big gulp's not going to do it, and I want to keep it cold. So yeah, I got ice in it. It stays cold all day.
Get to know the audience. Here we are. That's Rod, our I-40 truck driver.
Well, most drivers ain't right, and I just fit right in there. You know what I'm saying? So.
Well, man, it's good to hear from you.
Yeah, man, y'all have a good morning.
You too.
Rod,
you too. Rod listens every day.
Yeah.
Drives that truck, and we got a little more insight.
I talk to a lot of people, and I'm sure you do too. There are a lot more people driving trucks out there than you might realize. People that maybe drive the same route every day. They're home every night, but they drive the same route every day. And
we need them.
It's our core audience, baby.
And we need them.
We call them our base.
We need them. I mean, just as a country, we need.
Well, they keep it moving.
The supply chain is a real thing. It's 8:11. Lou Holtz is coming up at 8:30. Bart, I need between now and 8:30. Maybe a paragraph Like you don't just bring Lou Holtz on.
He's
and
been
say,
working on it.
Former Razorback
He's been
coach,
working on
former Notre Dame coach, former South Carolina coach. You know, we need
College
Lou.
football Hall of Famer.
You start with Hall of Famer.
2-time Coach of the Year, National Coach
Actually,
of the Year.
I think Chuck we'll have Chuck do it.
No, Bart's been doing the research. Well, you were out of the room a moment ago.
Yeah, he was.
Bart
he started on it. Okay.
Yeah, so
I
I
just want
watched.
to make sure we're ready, and we're more than prepared. What
He's
to
always
watch
ahead of the game.
is brought to you by Macadoodles. What do we have to watch? We got anything? We got the Sam Pittman live show tonight to listen to. Bart set us up for kind of the rest of the week, maybe a couple games on Saturday. Right after I tell you that Macadoodles is the place to go to plan your next party. You're having a watch party, you go to Macadoodles. And if you go today, it's Wind Down Wednesday.
You know what day it is?
And what happens
Down Wednesday.
on Wind Down Wednesday, Chuck?
The wine goes down.
15% off.
Yes.
Every bottle of wine in the store.
Wine goes down.
It's 7A from open to close, man. They have wine tasting every day.
An incredible
And 7 days a week, and a limitless list of amazing wine, and it's all 15% off today because today is
Wind Down Wednesday.
Wind Down Wednesday at Macadoodles, just north of the state line, just north of Bella Vista, and at Guess Who in Bentonville. Unmatched customer service is what people love about going to Macadoodles and Guess Who in Bentonville. Bart, what are we watching?
Well, we've got NFL game tomorrow night, Seahawks and Cardinals on Prime. Friday night, we have Florida State and Virginia, TCU and Arizona State.
Okay.
Those games at night. Also, Friday, the Ryder Cup begins for those who are interested in that. And then Saturday, 11 a.m., Notre Dame and Arkansas, USC and Illinois. LSU and Ole Miss, the 2:30 game. And then the nightcaps are a couple of big ones. Oregon and Penn State, Alabama and Georgia, both those games starting at 6:30, one on NBC. Then obviously Alabama, Georgia on ABC.
There you go. 8:14. That's what to watch. Brought to you by Macadoodles. This is not interesting. It's just interesting to us.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Some moments just call for something unforgettable. At Blakeman's, you don't just buy a diamond. You create an unforgettable experience. Their newly remodeled space is stunning with Cafe B right inside and their in-house diamond expert that'll help you find the perfect piece every time. That's just part of the Blakeman's experience. When you see the purple bag, you know it's something special. It always saves the day. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's your story.
The voice of the Razorbacks is Chuck Barrett, and he chose McDonald Eye Associates for his recent cataract surgery.
I went to McDonald Eyes. I can see in a way I've not seen in a long time. And I'm looking forward to this football season because of that. Your eyes are a big deal. I don't care if you're a sports play-by-play guy or what you do. You have to have trust. My trust was developed because I knew they were listening to me.
For your best vision, trust McDonald Eye. Online and same-day appointments at McDonaldEye.com.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Cutting corners is generally a bad idea. And when it comes to roofing, it's real bad. That's why Teamwork Roofing and Construction uses only the best materials, like Malarkey shingles, which perform better, protect longer, and are more sustainable. Residential or commercial. Got a complicated job? They've got the certified crews ready to deliver on time and on budget. You need a roof that's built on quality and powered by Teamwork. Teamwork Roofing and Construction. Log on to teamworkbuilt.com and get a quote today. That's teamworkbuilt.com. Today's been it's been a strange day.
Yeah, we've had some struggles here and there. Let's just be blunt. Can we be blunt?
Well, it's 50-50 at best.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Bart's over there fact-checking. Kind of ruined.
Just ruined the whole day for me. Has everything I've said on this show been fact-checked?
This would not have happened. This would not have happened.
Have you gone home and fact-checked everything I've said?
No.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Bart is a fact-checking machine.
What did he check?
Well, I mean, he was playing we played the little intro there with the fact-checking.
Hey, the Razorback Raffle. RazorbackRaffle.com.
Where is it today?
I'm going to look. Or Bart can check it.
It was 49,000 yesterday, right?
The raffle's open online to those 18 or over.
51.
Anywhere within the state of Arkansas. Winner of the 50-50 jackpot will be announced during the fourth quarter on Saturday. Support Razorback student athletes. Get your raffle tickets purchased to have a chance to win big right now. RazorbackRaffle.com.
51,000.
What's it going to get to on Saturday?
Not as high as you think.
150?
No, I don't know.
We've stalled out. Part of that is we haven't had a home game in a month.
That's a big part of it. It really is a big part of it because when you get out of the habit of thinking a certain way and your mind goes to other things.
This is kind of nuts, man. That you're going to have played 6 games, and 2 of them have been on campus.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to get 3 in a row. And then you're going to get 2 more on the road. Most of the way I looked at the schedule prior to the season was about who they were playing. But when you get in it and you realize how much you're away from home, and that's going to be a really nice stretch of 3 weeks.
Where has as much to do as here or there does. I mean, what if you had a home game last Saturday? What if you'd had a home game against whoever? You're probably 3-1 right now, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. I mean, you played 3 games in a row.
I mean, if you played Memphis and Fayetteville, I mean, we'll never know, and I'm sure there will be people who said, "Oh, they'd have got beat anyway," and maybe they would have. But that's a long time not to play at home. And here's the thing: nobody else in the league goes through anything like this. And I've said this about several things. It's fine if you demand certain things out of your team. That's your right. But just understand, you're asking them to do some things nobody else has to do. Nobody else plays a home game and then plays 3 weeks away from campus and then comes home by choice. I mean, by choice. We made the choice to do this. We made the choice to go to Little Rock. We made the choice to go to Memphis. So just understand that is something that, others are not having to deal with.
11 a.m. Arkansas is 4-15 under Pittman in 11 a.m. games. Maybe you can get a win and make it 5 on Saturday. Arkansas is only a 3.5-point dog going into this game after it opened at 6. Notre Dame is not the same team that they were a year ago. And we had Pete Sampson on, who covers Notre Dame for The Athletic. He pointed that out. They've got some real issues on defense. The challenge for Arkansas is going to be, obviously, tackling. We know the turnover thing. You can't have that. Obviously, that's any game. But Notre Dame runs the ball really well, and Memphis ran for 290 on Arkansas. And have they gotten anything fixed, corrected, changed there, or is this just who they are and who they're going to be? Once again, the experts think it's a bit of a shootout. What's the total in the game?
64.5.
Wow.
And the Memphis game was 62?
I would tend to go over on this.
Well, the point is, in the Memphis game, I think it was 62, and we all thought it was going to go over, and it barely went over.
Yeah, I think there will be more points scored Saturday at Razorback Stadium than there were at the Liberty Bowl.
I think both teams are going to have the chance to run the ball well. Notre Dame's run the ball well, and I was looking at some of Notre Dame's. I was filling out their spotting boards, what I was doing, and you do the heights and weights, and their defensive line, their starting defensive line, goes 250, 277, 271, 300. Now, I'm not saying that that's a poorly sized defensive line, but it's not the land of the Giants. I mean, we're making it sound like, oh my gosh, big bad Notre Dame. Now, what they do have are some really big, fast linebackers. They really do have those guys. But up front, they're not the behemoths that I think you sometimes see. Certainly not as big as some of particularly the interior linemen that you see in our league. May not mean a thing on Saturday, but that just kind of struck me.
We got to go to break shortly. Go ahead, Bert.
I just had something really random that I wanted to bring up real quick as kind of a lead-in to Lou Holtz being on the show, if I may.
Yeah, go for it.
So just doing a little bit of research, right? And I saw where Lou Holtz is listed as a 2-time national champion. And I was like, well, that's weird. Like, I remember he won one at Notre Dame in 1988. It also lists 1977. And I was like, wait, 1977? That was Arkansas. There is one poll or one ranking system or whatever from back then that has Arkansas as the 1977 national champion. I dug into this further, and looking at the whole situation, I have decided that Arkansas really should claim the national championship
Auburn's
in
doing
1977. Like really, truly, based on like records and scores and who played who and everything. It was a mess that year. Notre Dame got the AP national title that year. Arkansas should claim part of the national should claim the 1977
Well, we'll
national
congratulate Coach next, right here on the Chuck and Bo Show. Lou Holtz, and a moment to celebrate. The 1977 national championship that we didn't even know about 60 seconds ago. Coming up.
You can tell I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Buying or selling a home's a big deal, and you want someone who is with you every step of the way. That's why those of us at the Chuck and Bo Show wholeheartedly recommend Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, because we've experienced it. They've been my partners for life. They're Bo's partner now, and I promise you, when you become involved with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, they'll become your partners for life too. They've been turning houses into homes since 1978, and you can always log on and check out their selection at WeicherGriffin.com.
High school sports in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley have never had a bigger stage. I'm Melissa Orange, host of the Varsity Vibe podcast, and every week we'll be bringing you the stories, highlights, and moments that matter most to our communities. Don't miss a beat. Subscribe to our newsletter, check out the Varsity Vibe podcast, and follow us on social media for the latest scores and spotlight features. Get it all at varsityvibearkansas.com.
Particularly in the South, I'm not sure there's a title that carries more weight than coach. Maybe preacher.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
As much as y'all want us to win and the state wants us to win, the guys in the locker room want to win too. It's Notre Dame. If I had a concern, I'd be telling you that I didn't think I had a good team. And if I told you that, I'd be lying.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Well, this is historic. Notre Dame and Arkansas playing for the first time on Saturday morning. And also historic for us to have the great Lou Holtz on the show. College football Hall of Famer, two-time National Coach of the Year. According to one poll in 1977, he won the national championship at Arkansas. Obviously, the 1988 national championship at Notre Dame went 60-21-2 in 7 seasons at Arkansas, and the 79 Southwest Conference champions. And Coach Holtz, it is an honor. It's a privilege to have you on the Chuck and Bo Show this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Coach.
Well, thank you. It's my pleasure. I have such fond memories of Arkansas. I can honestly say this. One of the reasons we were able to win the national championship was the time I spent at Arkansas. Because the one thing I learned at Arkansas, you have to be completely focused, and that was great preparation when I went to Notre Dame.
What do you remember about the 1977 night at the Orange Bowl, Coach?
Oh, I remember everything about it. Don't ask me why I can remember things, but we were scheduled at 8:05, and Michigan was playing Washington in the Rose Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And the game went long, and they came in and asked me to wait. The game was being delayed out there, and so we told jokes in the locker room just before we were ready to go out. And we went out, and I was confident we would play very, very well. I had a great staff. Marty Kiffin was my defensive coordinator. Pat Carroll, worked with defensive backs, etc. And we had a lot of good athletes with good people. And there's certain relationship, like George Stewart, who was a freshman. When there was going to be a boycott, his mother wouldn't allow him to boycott. Said, "No, you made a commitment. You're going to go." So these are the loyalty you receive in a time like that from certain people are remembered your entire lifetime.
Coach, when you think about coming to Fayetteville, and you've been back, I remember when you were inducted into the Hall of Honor here, but when you come back and it's going to be a game situation right now, what do you think, what do you suspect may be going through your mind when you walk in that stadium Saturday?
I'm thinking about how hard it is to play in Arkansas. When I was in South Carolina, we always played South Carolina in the big stadium down there in Little Rock. Mm-hmm. We never had the opportunity to come up and play up there in Fayetteville, but I just do this. Most educated fans in the world. When we had the ball, they did nothing but scream and holler and yell. But it was always a great contest. And the people in Arkansas are so well knowledgeable about the game of football. It was very, very impressive to be part of it. And I fondly look back on my time there as one of the great experiences of my life.
Lou Holtz with us. He'll be at the game on Saturday. Arkansas and Notre Dame playing for the first time. You mentioned how Arkansas helped you prepare for the job that you then had at Notre Dame when you won the national championship. What are what are some of the things that the Arkansas job, you mentioned a couple, but what are some other things that you learned while coaching the Razorbacks?
That you were the school. There was no other school in the state that could compete with the University of Arkansas. And so you had your pick of recruiting, so to speak. But more importantly than that the focus of the Razorback fans was perfection. They just didn't accept anything less. I remember we went, 8-3 one year, and everybody was upset, like the world was falling down. But just the standards that the people in Arkansas set. And I mean, so many great places. What we have to remember is that 3 of my 4 children graduated from Fayetteville High and went to school there. And going down there, having dinner at those various places, it was just a wonderful experience being at the University of Arkansas. When you said you represented Arkansas, I mean, that was a great deal of pride you had, because at that time, replacing Fred Burles was not easy, but he was a great coach and had a great program. But we did it, and because we're supposed to. You go to Arkansas, not to win some of them, but to win all of them. That was just the attitude that people had, and that carried over when I went to the University of Notre Dame. I never thought I would leave Arkansas, but we had 1 year, which wasn't a particularly good year, and Frank Burles fired me, and I was completely shocked by it. But we went into Minnesota. It was a job that was open, and later the University of Arkansas. So it was a great learning experience, and everything that happened to me in Arkansas, the good and the bad. But that's where our family was raised. And we look on Arkansas as our home, even though we don't get back very often, but that's our home.
Coach, when you look at the Razorbacks now, still a smaller state, still a place where you don't maybe have as many resources as some. What does Arkansas have to do to be successful in football in this era?
I think the same thing we had to do was, number one, you have to understand that you're going to have about 12 athletes a year that can play for anybody. They aren't going to be highly recruited. They aren't going to be big name, but they're great players, and they can compete with anybody. When I think back about some of the players we had, nobody ever heard of. But then you have to supplement it with some outstanding athletes from surrounding states. You know, whether we're talking about a Billy Ray Smith, a Ron Farrow, you know, coming from the state of Texas. But we also had 1 or 2 athletes from the great state of Missouri. You look at Greg Kalenda. You look at our place kicker. I mean, you don't need a whole lot of them. But you aren't going to recruit according to the national statistics. And when you recruit, you can't worry about where you're going to be ranked. Get people that can play and are going to be patient and want to represent the University of Arkansas. Unfortunately, we get to the point where recruiting was more important than the season, because recruiting to me is important, but not the way it's led to believe with the reputation of everybody.
Coach, I got to ask you, if you wanted to be, and they said, Coach Holtz, we want you to be the commissioner of college football. We want you to fix college football right now. What would you do?
Oh, I tell you what, I would love that job. First thing we'd do was get rid of the transfer portal. You could transfer one time after your sophomore year. I think it's the worst thing in the world. Let's remember why we had athletics in college. We had athletics in college so that people could get an education and a great learning experience to play athletics. You learn perseverance, unselfishness, togetherness, and let's go on. Second thing I would do, I would get rid of the pay for play. Nobody ever has enough money. I know when I was in college, people say, you need a haircut. I say, I don't need a haircut. They say, good look in the mirror. So I don't look in the mirror. I look at my wallet. That told me I didn't need a haircut. But what you did, you bought what you could afford, not what you wanted. But I think that they had stipends from the NCAA. You could get, I don't know, up to $3,000 a year. Mm-hmm. I didn't get that because I wasn't a good enough athlete. But That's just part of life. You never have enough money, but you learn the value. And when I hear these people that this quarterback started from 4 different schools, that's right. He started for Arkansas, started for I guess it was Tennessee, ended up at Rice. That's not the way college athletes should be. And someday they're going to do a study on people that transfer, and how many people ended up with a college degree, and more importantly, with the contact you have. I look back, and my greatest experience was made at Kent State. Our motto was, we can't read, we can't write, but we are Kent State. But it was the teammates, experiences, the thoughts he had, and I've stayed close to them my entire life. Unfortunately, I've outlived most of them.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you've really looked into this game, this matchup, Coach, but what do you expect to see on Saturday between Arkansas and Notre Dame?
I think it'll be a very, very good football game. I think Arkansas has that outstanding quarterback who hasn't been as productive as they need him to be, but Arkansas is Arkansas, and playing them there, I know we're going to have trouble with their defense. They are very talented. But the thing is, Notre Dame has to be able to run the ball. We always have a good offensive line. We have great running backs. We have a good young quarterback, but we can run the football and then the play action pass. And most important thing, I think we just have to be patient. And so many times in college football today, people are impatient. Have a game plan, stick with it, believe in it. Sell your players on this, how we win. And the way we win, we're going to play great defense, we're going to run the football, and we're going to take the opportunities we have. I look back at Ron Cagney, Kevin Stanley as our quarterback, Brad Taylor. I mean, they were good athletes. Make no mistake about it. You talk about great running back. My goodness gracious. And wide receivers, Robert Farrell was as good a receiver. He was about 6'5". He wasn't real fast, but he could get by everybody. You just go back and you say, do we have enough talent to win? Let's utilize what talent we have and go that way. You could win at Arkansas, but you can't win if the fans and the sports writer, I might add, demand that you win the recruiting battle. Well, yeah, it's not important. Yes, you have to have athletes, but athletes alone aren't going to win the championship for you.
Really interesting insight, Coach. We really appreciate you coming on. I mean, this has been a treat, and we look forward to seeing you on Saturday. I know you're going to have a reunion with some former Notre Dame players, and we wish you well on that. And thanks for making time for us today.
Thank you, Coach.
Well, thank you. I have nothing but great memories of Arkansas for my family as well, and both my boys want to come. Skip will be at the game, but Kevin's wife is recovering from cancer, and her to-do list was to attend the Ryder Cup, and so he got tickets for the Ryder Cup. But it will bring back so many great memories for us. That was really where our family was formulated. They went to school there, they graduated from there, and they say, woo pig to his wills anyway.
That's great, Coach. Thanks again, and safe travels. We look forward to seeing you.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay, thank you for having me.
Glad to. Coach Lou Holtz, two-time national championship, as Bart pointed out, the 77 national championship in one poll at Arkansas.
I have officially given Arkansas the 1977 national championship.
Hang up a banner.
Yeah. Hang a banner.
Do it on
folks.
Saturday.
Yeah,
He's
why
here.
not?
Do it on Saturdays here, but the 1998 national championship at Notre Dame. Chuck, we got to hit a break and we'll take calls, but something he said there, it's so simple. You know, and I think it's true of just, our own personal lives or any organization that you start, and certainly of a football team. You got to have a plan, and you got to stick with it. And every coach that we ever talked to about being good in Arkansas is get players, whatever players you can in Arkansas, and make them part of your DNA. and then and just believe it and stay with it and roll with it.
I wrote down, stick to your game plan as he was talking.
Yeah.
I'm one of these people that makes notes. I wrote down, stick to your game plan, because I can hear him when he was here. I can remember from my teenage years him saying, they'll abandon their game plan. If we do this, they'll abandon their game plan. Or we forced them to abandon their game plan. Or they forced us to abandon our game plan. That's always been a big thing with him. And I was not surprised at all, even at his advancing age, to hear him say, you've got to stick to your game plan. Because he's done that for about 90 years now. He's stuck to his game plan for about 90 years.
His mind's still pretty sharp.
Pretty sharp, it is.
8:46, good morning. Kids, there's never a good deal good enough with a bad person. Still a bad deal.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
It's stunning to hear every 20 minutes a child is diagnosed with a critical illness. But we can help. Grant life-changing wishes with Waiters for Wishes and the Razorback men's basketball team. It's Tuesday, September 30th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Walk-Ons in Fayetteville. This private ticketed event lets you take photos, get autographs, challenge your favorite hog to a Pop-A-Shot, and bid on silent auction items, all benefiting Make-A-Wish Mid-South. Tables are limited and going fast, so reserve yours today at midsouth.wish.org.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit gopaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal price check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Football season's here, and Flight by Yuengling is the light beer built for game days. Tastes like a Yuengling, but it's a light beer, and only 95 calories. Flight raises the bar for what a light beer should be, and now it comes in a 16-ounce resealable twist-off aluminum bottle and skinny cans. Perfect for tailgates, watch parties, or just kicking back after the game. Pick it up at your favorite store or ask your bartender. Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer.
When something goes wrong, a car wreck, an injury, mounting debt, or getting denied the help you deserve, it's hard to know where to turn.
That's when Cadell Reynolds shows up. This is a team that fights for Arkansans. Personal injury, disability, bankruptcy, they handle it all. And they know how to get results.
You've got enough to deal with. Don't try to figure it out alone.
Call Cadell Reynolds, 866-314-3728, or visit CadellReynolds.com.
Cadell Reynolds, make the right call.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Are your gutters ready for fall? Leaves are coming, and that means it's time to protect your home. At Hogtroff Gutters, they install high-quality leaf guards that actually work. Don't waste money on the cheap guards from big box stores that clog up, and don't get stuck paying triple the price with those big national companies. With Hogtroff, you get the best of both worlds. Professional installation, premium aluminum, and stainless steel guards, as well as a 20-year warranty. Give them a call today to schedule your free inspection, or visit hoggutters.com.
So I spent yesterday, you mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
in this room have opinions. Facts are secondary to a good argument.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Lou Holtz.
He's still got a little fire, doesn't
88.
he? 88. Yeah.
88 years old.
Yeah.
Just did that interview. Cecil's in Fort Smith. Cecil, good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Cecil.
I was actually, hey, Chuck, I was actually trying to get on before Coach Holtz got on.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to ask the question, who was he rooting for? It's kind of hard to choose because you coached at both schools. But in so many words, he said, "Yeah, we can really run the ball." So
he's Notre Dame.
Yeah, he said talking about Notre Dame.
He was saying,
In a strange twist, he's here for a Notre Dame reunion.
Yes.
Yeah, ain't that crazy?
Yeah.
And the thing about him being in Fayetteville, I've met him several times back in the days. Me and Skip, I played against Skip and Eddie Sutton's son. I forget his name, but I played basketball against him and Skip football against Skip. But all the coaches I played, Woodland and Ramey, I think all of them went to Fayetteville High back then, though. But I don't think any of them went to Ramey. But that's been years and years ago. But everything Coach Holtz said, I remember. I remember the Orange Bowl. We was 11-1. We had a hell of a football team, great athletes, and we won the Orange Bowl, man. And that was a great game. And on one of my radio commercials, I was saying my greatest moments. And that was one of my greatest moments when we won the Orange Bowl against OU.
Yeah.
And I ran out the house at halftime through the projects, and I always been a Razorback fan, man, my whole entire life, man. And that means a lot, just for Coach Holtz, everything he said, I remember. And his record at Arkansas, his record was just as good at Arkansas as at Notre Dame. I mean, he had some bad seasons at Notre Dame too, but he had some great seasons in Arkansas. But like he said, I didn't know he got fired. I didn't dig deep like that or nothing. I just know he went to Minnesota, and then he went to Notre Dame. But he had a hell of a coaching career, and he's a good coach. He walked 10 or 12 miles a game. He was a really good motivator and everything.
Yeah, a lot of memories with Lou Holtz, and for those that were around for that time, vivid memories. And as you said during the break, Coach Broyles had no problem firing him.
Yeah, I was going to say, every coach that's been here since Holtz better be glad Broyles wasn't the AD because he'd have fired all of them.
Yeah, oh, man.
He had a quick trigger now.
Hey, if you're watching a game, Walk-Ons is a great place to do it. Pre-game, post-game, around a Razorback game, certainly for road games. And while you're there, ask about a Flight by Yuengling. 95 calories, tastes like a Yuengling, but it's a light beer. The next generation of light beer. It's Flight by Yuengling. Sorry about the calls we didn't get to today. If you're on hold, we'd love to hear from you tomorrow. We'll come back and try to do it again on Thursday. Have a great Wednesday. I love a day or weekend at Big Creek Country Club in Mountain Home. The golf, the people, the hospitality, and the events they host always hit the mark, and members enjoy it all. State-of-the-art practice facilities, food, beverages, a big pool with a snack and beverage bar, tennis and pickleball courts, and they can even book you an exclusive fly fishing trip. There's no initiation fee, and for out-of-towners, a membership is only $185 a month. It's Big Creek Country Club in Mountain Home. It's home away from home.
The Razorback Raffle is back. This raffle is a new and